white shirt, now red, my bloody nose sleeping. You're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Bruises on both my knees for you. Don't say thank you or please. I do what I want when I'm wanting to. So cynical. I'm a bad guy. Duh. I'm a bad guy. So you're a tough guy, like you're really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so buff guy. I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend that type, and seduce your dad type.
All right. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I'll be happy for the Mondays because we get to talk about Welcome to Derry. And Welcome to Derry has yet to disappoint. Welcome to the chat. Drop down below, share your commentary on our commentary, and hit that like button. Ashley, how you doing?
Muted again. Hey everybody, I'm doing well, Miss Tyra. I'm ready to get into it. And for the raggedy scallywag who was in my comments, who's probably going to be on Tyra's side this time because I blocked you, ho. You would never get in my comments critiquing my critique on a valid thing that they ended up showing me this episode. Like, just leave me alone and keep it cute, or we can go all the way there. I just had to get that off my chest because don't ever play on my type and act like I don't understand storytelling.
You coming in so hot.
Because that pisses me the hell off. Don't be. We can disagree, but don't be disrespectful as hell in my comments. My block ministry strong. Danny had to get the hoe together too. So like, don't do that. Just keep it cute. And I'm the sweetest person you'll ever want to meet. Just don't be disrespectful. That's it.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Keep it cute in the comments and be nice, please. It's okay to disagree on multiple things, but as long as you're respectful in your reply, I don't think you're gonna get no smoke. But clearly, if you're not, you're gonna get some. But getting into what we typically get into, it is here. What in the hey, girl? Ain't nothing here. Ain't a thing here. But we are gonna get into why. Absolutely not. Like, don't try to be cute. This is not that. We are going to get into these overall thoughts. Ashley, you can start if you would like to. What did you think about this episode?
This was a great episode, and it gave me what I needed, which was an understanding in terms of the entity being in Derry, why it was confined to the woods. But not only that, we got to see activist Charlotte get out of her bag. We kind of already knew she was going to be championing for Hank. But I really like to see her in action, and her raggedy husband, because now Leroy is officially on my ish list. But I will say the thing that brought me the most joy, the thing that warmed my heart and was like the cool side of the pillow at night, was when Marge went to that saw with her eyes bugging out. The only thing that could have made it better was her untimely passing. That's the only thing that could have made it better. Marge deserved every second of it. Skibbity bop, bop, bop. The hoe deserved it. The little mini hoe, yeah, she deserved it. Because you know what? She was out here doing witchcraft and wizardry. She was on another mission to bully, and these were her just desserts. I'll just say that, and I'm gonna set it right there. Great episode.
These were not Marge's just desserts, and I will be explaining why once we come to that point.
Go ahead.
We're gonna put some respect on Marge's name. Skibbity
Never.
Episode 4 has been up to point. Not same, Ashley. Same. Y'all tragic down there. This episode for me was up to par with the last one. I was glad that we didn't have to linger too much in the origins and the lore, and they brought it on home for something that we felt like was missing. With Rose in the conversation from the previous episode. This episode really has me anticipating the remainder of the series, because I feel like a whole shift is happening in Derry, and it's about to get really, really crazy. And I'm intrigued by everything. But yeah, they're not giving us no shortcomings. They're going to show up every single time.
And
Let's
you got
start.
to see your clown, Tyra. You got to see your clown.
I mean, I don't. Their darkness don't count. Unless he pop out and do that little dance, mama, like the darkness don't count. It does not count. But getting here, just because it was brief, why is Rose so secretive? What am I supposed to do with keep your kids close, Rose? Huh? What am I supposed to do with that information? I'm sure that Rose has been here before, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna lay everything out that I know as far as Derry and what's underneath it. But yeah, I don't want to say too much of anything either. Girl, don't hold. Well, I want to know why Rose is keeping her cards close to her chest, even when it comes to what's our baby name? What's the man name, Ashley?
Will, baby Will?
Mm-mm.
Who? Who's our baby?
Francis. Yeah, why are we keeping these cars so close? There's just a tendency for the indigenous folks to be very positive and high spirited and always assume the best and be so positive. I don't think there's room for that. Girl, warn me. Somebody need to tell me something, because Leroy, I just sat here and told you, girl, Leroy ain't gonna tell me nothing. It's like, yeah, keep it close. Before this season is out, I need Rose to unveil some things. Like, don't keep me in the dark for too long, because I need to protect my son. Keep your kids close. That's not enough information to me. How do you feel about Rose?
So here's the thing. I think that's tribal, and I think that's a closed practice, and that's sacred and secret. I don't think that's anything that she would volunteer. If she and the tribe have been able to keep this under wraps without letting anybody else get to it, I don't think that she will overtly say anything to Charlotte. I think she's really hoping that Charlotte will catch it, like catch it, sister. Because at this point, Dick has the only real revelation of what's going on and what happened, and I fear the military is going to weaponize the entity. I feel like really after last night's episode, they want to weaponize it for whatever their nefarious purposes are. But I stand Rose. I think Rose, when it come down to the wire, may a little something, but girl, they might have an oath or a pact where they can't say anything without, further things. Because you saw how hard it was for Dick to get inside Taniel's head. So
Yeah.
I'm really thinking Rose is just being very guarded in this instant. But I mean, and no, and I can't even say woman to woman, because Rose don't know her. We've been living on these lands for forever. Our
That's
tribe has been cool since we figured it out. Just keep your baby out the woods.
I'm not saying you have to tell me all of your ritualistic practices and things that are just sanctimonious for your tribe. You don't have to tell me that. Girl, tell me it's something going down around this town. It's a tell me something that just makes me, yeah, well, you're not leaving the house. I'm gonna watch you. I might sleep next to you and watch your bedside. Like, give me something. It's always just like really vague. Like, don't wait to the last minute until something really happens, and then it's like, yeah, girl, did I ever tell you about the clown that lives under Derry? Hell no, you ain't tell me that, Rose. I just need a little bit more information. Them cards are pretty damn close, and I don't feel like they have to be. But getting here, were we surprised? I said Pennywise play all day, because we got all the images to just look like plain old images. We captured random objects down at the cemetery, but not these ghosts that you're speaking of. But we left the smudged or whatever blurred picture of Pennywise just available to see. Well, yeah, that's a clown right there. See, I told y'all they didn't look like no damn clown. Like, I'll leave that. It don't matter what I leave. Nobody's gonna believe you anyway. I I don't think that anybody was surprised. I was I'm always sad to see them so disappointed, because they were trying so hard and they really thought they had something. But I think even if they did have anything at this point, nobody was going to believe them anyway. But the fact that Pennywise wants to torture these kids so badly that we let them live throughout the cemetery, capture the photos, go develop them, the whole nine, to ride their bikes and come here and have absolutely nothing. This was trash, Penny. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
Well, I question the fear, right? Like, I question if maybe their fear wasn't high enough or whatever, but it was very odd for all of them to make it out safely. Or is, the cemetery, is that sacred? Is there still some rule in place? But yeah, we all knew this was going to happen. Bowers is despicable because you would never throw in that girl's face. Yeah, if you don't want to end up back in the loony bin, I already know who you are. Who are you? And how did y'all get Bowers is a demon seed. But yeah, we knew there wasn't going to be anything in the images. But what I also thought was kind of interesting is that even had there been, right, I think we were seeing from Bowers and the other officers' vantage point, and I don't think they could see it. I think whatever the mask or the veil is over the adults in Derry wouldn't have let them see anything Pennywise doesn't want them to see. And so it kind of, goes into that. I was really excited though to see how Lily had some sense after this. I said that was smart thinking after this event. But yeah, we knew this wasn't gonna go nowhere. And even if it did, Bowers wasn't gonna help y'all.
No, he
This was not gonna
wasn't.
get your daddy off ever, baby. I'm so sorry.
Not Lily in some sense.
She
Did I
had
miss
a
the
little
sense?
bit. She had a little bit.
Getting into Lily in this sense, there isn't any. Um, I feel like in this universe, Lily is our Nancy. She's our Nancy. She is spreading word of mouth. That's why I think that Pennywise is allowing the likes of Will, Lily, all of them just to kind of live. It's one thing to, cook up the fear and scare and all that good stuff, but I think Lily I think Lily is spreading the word. I think Lily is going to be in a position of, well, I need to keep pushing because I need to get somebody to believe me. And any state that we've seen Pennywise in these little episodes, in these shadows, it does not look like the typical Pennywise. It looks fragile. It looks frail. I don't know, something looks off. And I know that it's just a shadow, but it looks small. And we know that it grows when we feed it. You can't feed it if nobody actually knows about it. So I think that we're just letting these kids be tortured and really spreading it. And Lily's going to be the main one to do that because we have Kirsch here. I think this is Kirsch. I thought this was her real bad, especially with her sitting here in this teacup. This friend or foe type of energy that she gives, I don't care what Lily does or say, oh yes, no, you need to keep going, you need to keep searching, keep fighting. My daddy always said, your daddy girl, this is Kirsch. And y'all know Kirsch is that older woman who turns into that giant sack of nothing chasing Beverly through her old apartment. I think that this is that same lady, and she is just younger here. And from the moment that Lily was omitted to the asylum episodes ago, I think she's been pushing her because this is what she's supposed to do. I don't think he wants her to die right away. She's here to spread the word to the other kids, and she is doing a very good job keeping it alive. Actually, do you think that this lady is Miss Kirsch and that she is manipulating Lily, or is she maybe a friend?
I'm very interested in the Kirsch lore, right? Because Kirsch is the old lady who tortured Beverly, or messed with Beverly's
Mm-hmm.
mind, but all the time in saying that Pennywise was her father and all those things and that. But she is a supernatural entity herself, right?
I
Kirsch
think
is.
we'll have to see. I really don't know a whole lot about Kirsch. Maybe someone who does know. Of course, y'all can leave that down in the comments. I only know what has been like available to us via the film.
Okay, so I'm saying if she's an entity, I wondered why they're presenting this way, or if they're going to tie it into our butcher Stan. Is this his wife? Like, I'm very interested in the lore of Kirsch, so I'm not opposed to it. It definitely could be because this heifer means no one any good. I can see, girl, you want her back in the loony bin. You want her back in confinement because the way she is spearheading and encouraging the nonsense, the BS, the scheme of it all. I don't like this lady. She's wicked. I can see a demon from a mile away, Tyra. Whether she's cursed or not, I don't know. But I do think that she could be another manifestation of Pennywise, just to kind of play more cerebral games with Lily. Because maybe Lily, she's not broken enough. She's not fearful enough. So I'm not opposed to that. And I'd kind of be here for it if we get a whole loop de loop.
I think so. With her sitting here, I said all the things you could have said. My daddy always said that it was good to have friends. And I'm like, yo, daddy girl, whatever, Kirsch, get away from. I'm like, where is Lily? Where is anybody when Lily is just sitting here chomming it up with this woman? Where's your mother? Thank you so much, Dane. I'm reading your super chat, Dane. Is Dick's powers the shining? Yes, I thought we established that long ago. And I know you know that. I think you're trying to be petty with this super chat because I know you know that. I know you've seen The Shining and you know who Doc is. So thank you, Dane. Anywho, yeah, don't manipulate Lily. Lily just has so many forces coming at her. I just really don't see her making it out of this. I don't see any of them making it any further. Like I just feel like there's not enough here in her favor for her to really just move and get from underneath this. And she's doing exactly what Pennywise wants her to do, just spreading it around, spreading that fear. Um, Hank, was it worth it? Was it worth it, Hank? Charlotte said, I'm going on down there. I love that Charlotte reacted. But when Charlotte said, yeah, I was cleaning up and I found this tucked away behind the drawer on the left hand side in the corner. Where are these pictures of? I said, not you going through Will's stuff. And he explains it. Such a great actor. I love Will. I love this little old boy. It's like, you know what, yeah, keep it close, stay in the house, let me figure out what's what before you go out there riding bikes and investigating with your friends again. And then of course we go down here to Bowers. And it's like, yeah, I really came down here to check all about Will and his friends. But while I'm here, can I see Hank? He's not having it. He wants nothing to do with it. And then, of course, we go to visit mom and we bring it all the way back here full circle. I love how Charlotte handles herself and how she speaks. And she's not raising her tone. She's not getting overly excited or just, it's like, do you need me to call someone? I will call and have everybody down here. I will do that. Do you need me to do that? Thank you. I'm going in there. Very, very respectable. I appreciate that. Low key, I was like, baby, call whoever, call Jesse and them, call everybody. Charlotte, what we waiting on? We don't gotta wait. We don't need to hear too much. We find out what we kind of knew, but it was like, well, I know Ashley said that it was Lily's mama, not Lily's mama, because he said married white tea woman. That's what we're here for, really, Hank? I wanted more for Hank. I wanted more for Hank. You couldn't tell me Hank wasn't gonna be where he said he was. I was at my mama house all night. I didn't leave. I wasn't anywhere. You were out, and that's what you were doing, jeopardizing. You know that baby ain't got nobody in the world. You all she got. All of that to go, and not just the white tea woman, a married white tea woman. Are you crazy? I'm just over it. I feel like a shift is about to happen in Derry, especially when we have freedom fighter Charlotte going, well, excuse me for being presumptuous. You know I'm from. It's like, yeah, this is not the deep south. This is Derry. This is about to come the deep south real quick. So Hank, this being the reason for you to go on down to Shawshank and then some, it is not looking good. I just wanted more from Hank. I know we need a little booty every now and again. We're gonna get stressed out. We can't. Mama got to have a life too. I understand, Hank, but you could have went anywhere. You could have been with anybody, and you're down here, and you can't even use it as an alibi. Ashley, how did you feel about Charlotte, and did you expect more from Daddy Hank?
Well, no, because like I said, I thought he was screwing Lily Mama, who is still a hoe, and I don't necessarily believe that this woman is currently married. It could still be Lily Mama for all we know. Hank could be covering, because let me cover the white, because they got to protect the white woman. We know when we go back down here in these period piece streets, when the black man gets a little piece of vanilla, he don't know how to act. But I mean, disappointed. I mean, it's par for the course. We knew he was hiding something. I just hate that this is kind of the always narrative that we get. Like, oh, it's forbidden fruit. I was over there. Now I have to pay for my crimes because it's illegal to be with a white woman. I just.
But he can't even afford the forbidden fruit. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have stuff to lose. You have, like, did you not? These parents do not think about their children, and that just sends me.
Did you think of your children? No, he didn't think of his child. But no, what I was most kind of gobsmacked by was this character. Up until this time, he has been the voice of reason, very calm, very mellow, except I think when Bowers made his threat, that's the first time we see him yell. But in this room with Charlotte, I said, who is this man? Are you from the Slapaho tribe, sir? You're getting very, you're real mouthy in here. And I didn't know how to feel about that, just as far as, the continuity of his character. But he's under pressure. I'll give him that. As far as Charlotte, I really felt this whole time that she was writing checks that her behind can't cash. Because, you might have to spend a day in Shawshank, but I'll have you out by then. Because they're not going to play with you. I can have them up in Derry in 20 minutes. I can make a call I said, "You're that girl. You really her. I'm interested to see what's going to happen because it gave a lot of hubris, a lot of bravado, and I was just like, will they? Will they come up to Maine? Like, are they going to be in Derry? Are they, sister? Um, but I like it in her. I like the fight in her. I too like the way that she was composed. But then on the back end, you're gonna let me see Hank. I have a letter from his mama, and if you don't, what she say, JFK, RFK, MLK. If you don't want us marching, saying we shall overcome up here in Derry, you'll let me in to see this man. I said maybe she's got her JD or something, and she's a lawyer undercover because the confidence that she came in here with, like, baby, no, you might do a day in Shawshank and we'll have you out, but you are going to have to tell the truth to someone at some point. I'm
I
like, are
don't
you
think she
still
does.
advocating for stuff? I don't
I
know. I
don't
was just, she,
I don't think she does because that's what I was questioning. Baby, if you got it like that, call them people now. What chance in hell currently does Hank have beyond this conversation? There's nothing to do, and he let you know I was with a married white tea woman. I don't need anybody to know that. I'll be up on a tree. Yeah, call them. If it's all since you got your degree and you know everything, call those people. I don't think it's that. I think Charlotte enjoys like the movement and the mission and being a part of it. But that deep of a connection, and we didn't call them first. I'm not putting myself on the front line. I think she stands for, I'm going to right the injustices and I'm really trying to be out there. But if when it comes down to the bottom line and you don't really have that olive branch to extend, what exactly are you going to do for Hank or the heat that comes down on your family? Like, I don't know. We wouldn't have been here if Hank could have got some booty on down in them trenches where he at.
and our juke joint, this how our juke joint. You
See,
couldn't
I'm
wait.
just doing. You could have been anywhere, but like, Lord, I still want to know who it is. I don't know if he said Mary to throw him, but I'm like, it couldn't have been to throw anybody off the scent because if it wasn't, and it's just Lily's mom, it's just Lily mom. Like Lily, her husband's gone.
Ostracized potentially, it could mean a lot. She's a single mother that works two
I mean,
jobs.
if they was sneaking on the low, do you really think it was that deep for him to? I mean, well, we've seen them protected for less, so it don't matter. I'm sorry. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. But I like the way Charlotte carries herself. But I'm just like, baby, if it's that, call those people now. We need 911 emergency.
Immediately.
Reconnect the community. Somebody
Period.
got to do something. Leroy. Leroy just really like grinds my gears. I mean, I'm okay. Between Charlotte and Leroy, I don't need to see nothing else. Get your stuff. We're gonna pack it up now and we're gonna go. The Yule Burn too, scaring this post week baby like this down at the local lake. This was too much. I was yelling, don't you leave him in the lake with your little fishing line. Take it with you. It's too much going on. When that arm popped up, I said, oh my goodness. And then it was him. I said, it's an omen. That means you need to get away from your daddy. That's what it means, Will. Out of all the things it could have been. Like, this is one of his, worst fears, of course, with Will, losing his dad in that type of way. But the thing said you'll burn too. And we know what ends up happening to Will. I was like, this is awful. This is so awful. Like, I hate it. And when he saw the proof and he saw the scratches and everything, I was like, let's go. To have this confronted and have Leroy and Charlotte have these soft moments. I love when they were sitting at the table and Charlotte's like, I'm going to hold this information because I don't need daddy to know and it's going to be worse. But go on, tell him, son. Like, tell him what? It's a girl. It's like, is it a black girl? It's a black little girl, right? Like, it's real cute. But at the same time, Charlotte, look, baby, I was told that you was down there at the precinct, probably stirring up trouble like you always do. Can you not? My job and what I'm doing here is extremely important. Leroy, really? Leroy, are we listening? Like, the blinders here, after the whole experience and the pictures and Charlotte and what's going on with Hank and these bruises on him, I'm leaving. What are we sticking around for? I don't give a damn how important your job is, but I guess we're supposed to give him an excuse because he has that little fearless gene. You can have whatever you need to have in your brain. What about the children? What about your children, Hank? What about Children, Hank, Leroy, all these. I don't know. I'm having a problem with the black man on the show. Ain't nobody showing up like I need them to. And I know our black man, our upstanding man, is supposed to be Leroy. Leroy is not cooking for me. He is just as complacent in other ways as everybody else. It's nothing I need to know after this experience. Ashley, my job is really important. What I'm trying to do here, Charlotte. Don't mess this up.
I'm doing important work here, can't you see? It's all you see. They're at the house like they were last time, Charlotte. Damn it. It's always you. He pissed me off. Leroy, I said, all right, he's got his amygdala injury. He knows no fear. But clearly it took his common sense. Because where is your common sense, sir? You saw the damn red balloon at the lake. You saw the red balloon again at the house. Twice wasn't enough. You didn't need to see, oh, something. My son had a near unaliving situation here, and now there's something outside on the street. That same red. Nothing's clicking, Stephen. Leroy, that brain injury did more than make him fearless. I fear. Charlotte, I don't know why Charlotte chose him. I'm really, really struggling to understand the dynamic in this marriage. We don't get that this is a deep loving. We know that they've lived separately and for all intents and purposes, really separate lives. He is very much an in the house person. I'm following orders, and we know because he's achieved a certain rank back in those days. And she's like, F all that. We lived in the South and I was, I'll have all the freedom riders up here because that's what I did back home. I'm really trying to understand where the twain meet. And little Will is such a gem and so much sunshine and just all of the things. I just love little Will. And
He said, Daddy, something's wrong here. And Gary, something's here. Daddy, I'm scared. What do you need me to, what else do you need to know, Leroy?
oh my goodness. And again, it's never been enough. Had it been enough, I don't think he would even have stayed in the military. Clearly your son needed you. Clearly your wife has needed you, and that hasn't been a priority. Him achieving and ascending, I think, has been his real priority here. So it doesn't surprise me that he can't empathize or truly relate. I think even after seeing it didn't put any fear in his heart. But like I said, did the logic centers depreciate as well when you got that injury, Leroy? It doesn't make sense. Also, he's got a very bad attitude. Because don't blame Charlotte for a damn thing. You moved these people here, all right? You moved your family here and put them in present danger, and doesn't look like he's going to do anything to defend, in my opinion. Not in any way that's really going to matter. The only thing he could do that would make me like Leroy at this point is move his family out. That's all you can do, or at least send them away. If you're going to stay and face the threats and do all of that, fine. But you see that your son is in danger, go ahead and make them leave. I hated everything about it. I hated the fishing trip. I thought it was gonna be cute at first. I said, oh, they're bonding. Finally, they're bonding. They're having a father son. We need to see black boy joy and black fathers. And then he pulls this stunt. Leroy can kick rocks with open toe shoes.
And then it's not like he's taken over yet. Like, Leroy can see the balloon just like Will. That means the it entity has not entered your psyche yet. Because all the rest of them trash adults in Derry will have that balloon pop up to scare someone and they don't even notice it. It's not going to register. You see it, and you're going to ignore it. The you'll burn too took me out. I was so mad at that. I said, don't say that. Don't say that to him. Don't say that to Will.
And like I said, and I understand he can't leave. He can't go AWOL. That's fine. But make sure your family's secured.
He's not, because Leroy is not even just Charlotte, but just under this balloon of delusion. This is like a sacred space. Derry, we're not going to encounter much racism here, much anything that we've had to deal with in the South. This is somewhere sacred that if you don't bring it, then it won't exist here. That was going to exist anywhere and everywhere you ever moved in this time, Leroy, pretty much. So he just wants everything to be safe and kind of perfect, and Charlotte supposedly is messing that up. Thank you so much, Black Captain America, for the $4.99 super chat. We appreciate that. Thank you. I see this comment down here. Let me read this because maybe it was supposed to be attached. Do you think Ronnie's dad was involved with Lily's dad's death? Crime of passion to be with her mom. I do not.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that theory. I like the way you're thinking, Black Captain America.
I do not personally. No, I don't. Thank you. Y'all jumping off the porch for real. Let me make sure. Yeah, and then like I was cool. I was like, all right, Leroy, his concern, whatever. Charlotte, don't mess this up. When we got here and we have this scare, and he goes, look what you did. What you mean? Look what I did. Excuse me? Look what I did, Leroy. You got people out in front of the house. Look what you did. More importantly, getting into these shifts in Derry, and like I said, that little image of Pennywise almost looks fragile. It looks younger. It just looks differently, and I think it would have been easy to cast a shadow that looks exactly like what we've seen. I'm guessing what we've seen is probably the ultimate, and this is somebody who's gearing up to fester all on Derry. But we have to break people down to do that, and that's why we're not intimately like, okay, we're going to take out Lily, we're going to take out Will. No, we need Lily to live, we need Will to live, because um we haven't gotten to the point where all of the adults in Derry are kind of taking over. We still have people, not even just Leroy. Some of the other people who live in Derry, it's just not there, and I'll get into those other people. Shout out to Marge. But we have this situation here where what would be the main thing for me, in my opinion, to break down somebody like Leroy is to break down how fearless he is. And if you can get Leroy to be scared, then that's the way to weasel your way in, because I think that's not only like a defense mechanism, but especially an efficient one against something like Pennywise. I think that we're gearing up to like instill some fear in him. I don't know what else we could do. Like if it's not your family, Leroy, that would scare the hell out of me. You're one thing, but I think we're not only breaking down Will and the other kids, I think we're doing it to the adults too, and this is how we are getting to Leroy. And this is probably why we aren't just right out just killing the kids like we did the ones before. No, I need time to play with you and break you down. And of course, we have yet another balloon. I don't know how we're going to spin that off. Maybe people just let balloons go, Leroy. Like I don't need too many omens or ominous moments for me to pack my bag. But clearly Leroy does. But it's not going to be too many more times where you think you're going to blame Charlotte for anything. I didn't do nothing. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
She's used to it. He probably talks to her like that all the time. He probably hated that she was a part of the movement, that she was probably louder than she was supposed to be, that it brought more attention to the family than was needed. He's very much, I'm gonna go with the flow. Just don't say nothing. You know what I mean? And Charlotte's like, I'm gonna speak. For those who can't, and for myself. Now, as far as Leroy and Penny, I don't know. Barring another brain injury, I'm not really sure how Pennywise could overcome that. If that's literally like a physiological thing for him, I don't know, unless Leroy loses his mind and Kirk's all the way out, which could be interesting. Does it drive him to madness? He's not above that, so that could be something. But as far as Pennywise in this current state, I think that he hasn't fed enough. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like he's fattening them up for the slaughter.
Yeah.
Really, like, some people like the smell of fear, like what they were talking about in it, right? And so they get their, whatever, really, really scared until they feast or feed on them. And I do think that's what Pennywise is doing until his power grows, until his parameters grow. I
Mm-hmm.
think he'll keep sowing seeds until he can get the payoff that he wants. But yeah, Charlotte's used to this. Her husband, and he probably been raggedy like this the entire time. But I fear it's only going to get worse because the pressure is only going to intensify. Not only with Hank, I think as she begins to see other things, especially when it comes down to Will. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Charlotte's not going to be quiet unless they put her down, and we need Charlotte in the show. Don't kill off Charlotte.
Please
Not now.
don't. Yeah, Pennywise is definitely on a diet currently right now. It's not Leroy hate, y'all. It's just Leroy. Hey, what's with the Leroy hate? It's just Leroy. And I don't know if there was more dimension in a Brig Bridge between the men that are often present in the show already, but between Hank, Doc, and Leroy, I don't know what y'all want me to do. I don't know. Let's get into the black spot because that's what this is. I say, oh Lord, Doc, and we know that Doc has good intentions, and Doc just irritates my soul because he's just so happy to be appointed and thrown a few crumbs his way. Up, see what I got? He said we can use this file. All we gotta do is clean it up. Yeah, that's all great and everything. You know, we need that space for black camaraderie and drinks and all that good stuff. But he's so satisfied with those small tokens of absolutely nothing. It's like, oh God, this is where tragedy is about to happen. Tragedy is about to strike. And even though Leroy didn't do too, I was like, I don't know what you were coming here. If Leroy had enough spunk to roll up on Doc like this, you need to tell me something, my son, and what you holding back. If it's all of that, then leave. Just leave. And it's like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I do as I'm told, just like you. Where was the lie? Where was the lie? We have gotten here by being complacent and doing as we're told because we, of course, want to level up and do the best in our field. But, like, where exactly do we draw the line? I'm hoping we get to have a little piece of a good time in the black spot before the stuff pops off. But just to see the joy in all that things in those men's face, it's just really disappointing considering what's really going to happen here and all this tragedy that's about to ensue. But outside of that, we do have Doc having kind of these ominous visions and the things. I think Grandma is here and she's referencing that box and, put a lid on it, keep those things in a box. I don't know if we're talking about Grandpa. I was like, baby, can you put Pennywise in a box? Is that an option? Can we not do that? Maybe Pennywise is too strong for that. But I feel like I'm not as mad as Doc as I would expect to be at this point. I'm not mad at Doc. I'm not mad at Marge. I'm a little spicy at Leroy, but I'm not mad at Doc because I don't know how much of this, I'm sure a lot of it is, but I don't know how much of this is all Doc and how much of this is Pennywise playing around in his mind. I think that there are stuffs going on, and I wouldn't have thought that until we get to that next kind of ending scene where we have Doc go into Indigenous Bay's mind and he has that terrible smile. I was like, oh my goodness, this is creepy as hell. I don't think that's Doc. I think that this is Pennywise. And when we had that episode where there was that encounter on the airplane and he tried to open up the door, I think he opened up a window to where Pennywise can manipulate things to find out stuff in his favor that he maybe can't do on average because he can't really just, yeah, Doc has a power that I don't, so he can maybe give me access to things. And I think maybe that was Granny saying, like, keep a lid on that, don't let it in. We'll see. But I didn't like sitting here to hear, I'm taking orders just like you do. I'm doing as I'm told, black man. Like, that's sad, but this is where we are. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
I can't stand it. I didn't like him in The Shining, and I really can't stand him here because not only do I think it's partly what you said, I do think this is foreshadowing, and I think he knows what happens as a result of the black spot. Yet you persisted and get. For me, Dick is an opportunist, and he's strictly about himself. He don't care about brother man, the next man. He does not, and keep him away from your kids. All right, I don't like it. But no, I do think he opened a door literally, like, right, literally and metaphorically, and Pennywise is playing around. However, he's still got this side that's giving him explicit warnings. Granny is a sign from the past, and we talked about it last week. Pennywise isn't going to do anything for you to stay safe or to, put a limit on anything. And I really think he's just foregoing that for comfort. He likes the spot that he's in the military. He likes the privileges that he gets. He loves the fact that they're all now like, man, Dick, you did this for us. Like, yeah, man. Like, he likes that. Now, as far as his intent, I honestly think the events of The Shining that we see later on is him trying to do a redemption tour for something that happened in the past. And I think we're going to see it here because at some point you don't become just a tool. You actually do become a co-conspirator and complicit. And for me, Dick is going to do whatever is going to keep him comfortable and safe and secure in the arms of his master. That's how I feel about it. But no, I can't give a damn about Dick, and it only gets worse when he interviews or interrogates Tanya, but we'll get to that later. But listen to Granny. She got the wisdom, she got the sense. She taught you about The Shining. I was really hoping I get a flashback of that. Can I see her whisper in the ways of The Shining and how it works?
Whisper in the ways.
But yeah, whisper in the ways. But yeah, I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
I don't know. A lot of what Doc does and says, I think he knows more than he's letting on. Like maybe even if like, do you know? Like if you sat here and you really knew about Will or you knew about Futures, like, sir. And even if he doesn't know everything, he's seen and got little glimpses of enough to know that something is up. But how long is it going to be before you warn anybody or try to do something? Clearly, we waited until it was too late into the last damn minute. I don't know, because if we didn't, then nobody would have lost their lives on down here at the Black Spot when the Klan roll up or the Polite White Society, whatever the hell it's called. Thank you so much, X-Man Superfan, for gifting that membership to the Sweet Peas over there, and Kiki who received it, most appreciated. Thank you so much. I just want some more. I just you know, I just want a little bit more. Or at least for the game to be something really massive to us, like, you know what? Doc, I can't stand you. But for a black man in this time, I can understand why you maybe it's just not enough. It's literally crumbs. But maybe, like I said, for the times, that was just more than you would afford it, so you were just happy to get that much. But for all that you're having to do, and how deep we saw you go in this episode and what you did to that man, this is worth it. It's not for you to come in like, and it's all in the name of finding a place to drink, hang out, and debauchery. Like, you selling your soul for what? Thank you so much, A, for the $4.99. Leroy doesn't have fear for himself, but get him through his love for Will. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't, as a parent, I don't know what else you need to see because he came down here like Doc was going, and you got no answers, and then you got that the thing that happened and transpired, and like how much is going to happen for you to really move. I don't know. I think and it's I think it'll be really interesting to see Leroy just be completely taken over and just to see what that transition looks like. We have to see somebody transition, and he has to like for whatever happens here. Leroy did not leave. He was still here. So if you're still here, then you're a card carrying Derry member. I don't know what else you would be here for if you weren't. Let's move on. Let's move on down to here. Baby. I'm your mother, I'm your daddy, I'm the king in the alley. What you want, what you need, got some coke, got some weed. Push your man, Lily. What are you doing with these happy
This was
pills?
smart. This was smart. This was
Like I
smart.
said, Lily has been given Nancy. It's been very Nancy, and even the way that the it entity has been moving, it's been very Freddy Krueger. Like, yeah, move around, spread it, let those nightmares ring out, so I can lure in more kids in Springfield. I was like, I don't know. We don't know for sure that this is gonna help. We don't know what they are taking. I don't know. It was very reminiscent of a Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, yo, we can't go to sleep because if we sleep, we're gonna dream. So let's take these stay awake pills. I was like, not you pushing pills in the way that Little Rich was like, yeah. I was like, don't put that in your mouth yet. Don't take it right here in the hallway. She's like, yeah, mom calls them they're her happy pills. Yeah, I don't know what they do exactly, but maybe when the happenings are about to happen, we can just take them and see. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to help or hinder, but I do not like the idea of these kids taking any drugs. Ashley, this was a good idea.
Yes, absolutely. Between a little bitty addiction and damn living to see another day, take the little bitty addiction. In my opinion, it's probably Valium or something. I don't think it was anything like super crazy. It wasn't a hallucinogen or anything. I think it was actually the first time I've seen Lily step up and have a plan. Like if we're ever in a situation we don't want our fear to overtake us, pop a half. You know what I mean? Pop a bar. That's what we gotta do if we can live. I
Oh,
want this
yeah. I'm
to
a perk
live.
and I'm sweating. Whew. Off the molly.
They live. They live. All right. This is just a temporary fix, until we can screw our courage to the sticking place. But yeah, Lily. You use your psychotic meds for good and not for evil. And one's not gonna get you stretched out. Come on, come on,
We
come
don't
on.
know that. We've seen kids stressed out for less.
It's for a rainy day. And if it's a Valium, it's just gonna make them really relax. You know what I mean? They're just gonna
We
chill
just,
out.
but we don't know that. We don't know what it is. We just don't
Well,
know.
Will it work? Probably, though. If it
Well,
stops the fear until we
this
can
could
think
have
of something.
got Lil Will. This was the gateway to that crack. That's what it was.
Now, here they say, now they're saying that those were all projections. People have been up and down the comments since we started talking about
I
that,
do
saying that they
not
were really
believe
on drugs.
the further that we go into the series, the more that it makes those things believable. Even going back to watch that scene when it's initially said and confronted, it's not something that Pennywise is projecting to him. It shows up as like a flashback. I'm not gonna argue with no people in these comments. I'm not. No, say no to the drugs, okay? Now hopefully it does, but like what if it makes it worse? I just don't know. So far, none of Lily's plans have worked. And Lily is an agent of chaos sent by Pennywise at this point. She's being used as a vessel. So I'm contrived to believe that nothing that she's doing is going to work in their favor just because we don't want it to. It's not supposed to. It's just supposed to heighten things, make things grow, and get me stronger. Lily's been doing her job so far. I have no reason to think that these pills won't be any different. But if it helps, I'm all for helping the babies. I love when they were talking. Will all smart. He was like, yeah, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I think Pennywise trying to fatten us up for the slaughter. Like a predator and some prey and some fear. Like you're saying you wants to eat us? I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I believe that's what's going on. I'm all here for those He-Man Woman Haters Club meetings. This here, where we passing out Adderall in the hallway, I don't know what this is. I don't know
We'll
what this
find
is.
out. Hopefully, we'll find out.
We shall see. And we couldn't because Lily, little dope, you just had to drop it in the toilet. Oh, she get on my nerve. Oh my god, I'm coming because if I get it out of the toilet, you're gonna do what with it? It's probably half-assed off by now, Lily. Get out there and go get your
Marge didn't deserve it anyway. And run the other way, Lily. Run the
friend.
opposite direction.
Now look here. Marge, like the rest of Derry, Marge has been implanted with something. I don't think it's any in it. She has. That's why it came out and it projected itself like this. Not only as some type of heightened fear. I think this moment showed up like this because when we have that projector, whatever lesson in the classroom, and it's about those slugs, all we hear the entire time in the background with her whispering to Lily, hey, friend, I miss you, friend. It's all about parasites. I heard parasites too many times in this episode in the background. I came back and I listened to make sure it's what I heard. I think that when we have the people that are in Derry and even the kids that are just innately evil for no damn reason, bullying and being a little nasty is one thing. But if you've been over there with them Bowers and all them, y'all seen them bullies and just Derry as a whole, the inhabitants, they're terrible. It's evil. I think that whatever strain is going around, it took them. Marge was fighting for her life at this moment. But hear me out. Marge, it tried to take her and use her as a vessel. Who better to get closer to Lily and drag her through the mud even further, getting her to think some little lonely ass boy actually likes her and embarrassing herself to make it even worse and make her susceptible to more than her good friend Marge. I'm going to use her as a vessel. I don't think that this is who Marge is. Now, Marge wanted to be down with the crew and the clique? Absolutely. This part of Marge, who would just be so comfortable with dragging Lily through there, I do not believe that was that. That's why, and even with what the hell are these reflections on Marge's glasses? If you go back and look at the moments that Marge decided, okay, I'm going to go over here and align myself with this crew, there is a glare on her glasses. It's weird. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's something off. I don't think that this is completely who Marge is. Even if she did want to tie herself to them little nasty heifers, I don't think that she would go to this level. She was uncomfortable with it. And the moment it's like, yeah, I'm going to overtake that and warn my friend because I care. All of a sudden, our eyes are bulging out. Now, of course, we know the episode is doing what it needed to do for Lily. We're going to frame Lily. It turned into Candyman and she was Helen. It's like, what the hell? And we're going to have her standing over me with my eye gouged out, and everybody thinks it's the crazy Lily, and we need to send her back to the asylum. But do I think that this is 100% all Marge? I do not. I think that this is Derry trying to do that over and undertaking that we've done with all the other residents to see and watch them wind up evil, gay bashing, murderous, bowers of it all. And Mars wasn't going for it. But that's my opinion. Ashley?
No, Marge is a demon.
What?
And I'll give it to you. Okay, all right. It took up residence because she was already a bad seed. From episode one, season one, episode one, Marge has been a social climber, if you will, a wanted to be accepted because of her low self esteem. Low self esteem people are the most dangerous people in the universe because they'll do anything to gain acceptance. Hence her pulling another stunt. I could have gave it to you, all right? I could have gave it to you. Oh, she's out the clique. She's down to ride for her friend. But no, you finna play in Lily's face again. You deserved it, ho, little ho. You deserved everything you got in that moment, and you absolutely deserved worse. Even if she is a product of Pennywise, more reason to take her out, to X her out, if she's being possessed, which I highly, highly doubt, because next episode she's gonna be helping them get to the house and do everything else. Hell nah, Marge is just a despicable human being. And Saul, I saw your comment. Baby, no, I wasn't bullied, but Marge is a demon. And y'all that can't see it, I don't know what to tell you. She will do anything. The hoe can't be trusted in any situation. Say you let her in. Okay, say you let her in to your little, losers club, the originals, the OGs. What's she gonna do? She gonna run back and tell them everything, do whatever she needs to do. No, Marge should have been eliminated, toot sweet, and Lily should have ran the other way. When you saw her with that hacksaw going to the eyes, Lily, because of your past, baby, you should have ran the opposite direction. Marge gets what you get and don't throw a fit. All right? She's been heinous. She's
So
the worst because she
you
pretends to be
think
a friend, but in
I'm
order to
not
gain
saying
alignment with the circle, you want,
that's
you're gonna
true. I'm
come
not
out and be
saying
as
that doesn't
evil as
exist.
anyone else. No, she's dangerous. Get her out
That
of
that
there.
absolutely exists. I'm not gonna act like Marge and not want to be a part of the in crowd. But how much of this is Pennywise and how much of this is Marge? All of this is Marge?
50, 50, 50. I told you I would give that to you. Either way,
Okay.
she need to die. Either way, she need to die. If she's a seed of Chucky, okay, if she's Pennywise's child, all right, then get rid of her. And if it's just Marge, get rid of that hoe. She's terrible. I don't know how y'all don't see it. She's a liability.
I'm not saying that she
My
isn't,
opinion.
but I think Marge is also a victim of Derry. I do. I really do. And I'm sure all of those kids, even them damn patty cakes, like not all of them started out that way. But we need vessels to continue to operate and come out and feed and do all of these disgusting things the it creature does all those years. Everybody has to be comfortable, mean as hell, and complacent. They was trying to get Marge over there, and Marge fought that off. I'm not going to be completely on her back just now because she could have let it ride. And we see what happened the moment that she tried to utter anything. She lost a damn eye.
She lost the other one. Now she's gonna have a patch. Now they really not gonna like her. So what's she gonna do next to get accepted?
She can't go back over those patty cakes. She can't do that. Oh, I need to go see how old I was like, I feel like Marge is maybe older than they're allowing, and we're kind of covering her up. I was like, Marge looks older. But thank you so much, Jancis Atlantis. Poor Lily can't catch a break. I felt so bad for her. They gonna give Marge a redemption arc, and then in arc, if Marge goes out, it's gonna be trying to save someone. I don't know. Like Lily's not catching a break anywhere. That's why I'm like, nothing here is really designed for her to succeed. And so I'm like, don't swallow them pills. I don't know what the hell that's going to do. And then we go, oh my God, stop! I'm going to stand over you with the weapon. Oh no, but it wasn't. Yeah, to the asylum you go. I don't know how many times baby girl got to go to the asylum, and then just to find out this episode, she was only there for like a weekend. Because Will said like a week had passed. Like, how was your first week at school? It's only been a week.
Hmm.
So that means you went to the asylum, got doted up for a couple days, and they let you out. Well, clearly we're not gonna let her out now if we think she's running around trying to kill people. Oh Lord, y'all funny in this chat. You don't feel the presence of change in Derry, Ashley? I feel it. I do. It's ominous. Oh, it's another one. Because what was this face, Doc? I said, oh, hell no. Doc didn't let that thing in to manipulate and use them damn powers against him as well. I was like, oh my goodness. None of you are having like a fighting chance. Now, you and your desire to come in here and be so comfortable and do this to this man, that was all Doc. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I got to do this to you. Now, are you? If you were, you wouldn't. And this is a very strong tribe, baby, because he fought it with everything that he could. But the moment we got in there and the questions that were asked, I was like, I don't think that's all Doc. Now, I do believe at this point, the mission is to, and I'm like, how does that tie in with this entity? You think you're going to use this as like a weapon of mass destruction and defense against what? Where? That's really what you're looking for? That's what you thought about and came back here. Yeah, I'm gonna use it. That's crazy. I said that's a bit outlandish for me, but do what you got to do, Francis. I think that's been his mission all along, and we're not just saying that. But the moment that we got here and all the fighting and the face and it was all we and we'll get to the indigenous in the story in the origins. But this particular moment here, which of course leads us to, well, where are these stones placed today? And we get that old raggedy house that we've been to a million times. Who the hell's going in there? But Doc and the clapping and this grin, I don't think this is Doc. The moment Doc said, okay, well, where are they now? And it kind of felt like Pennywise trying to move and do whatever we can to manipulate that barrier so I can go out even further. The eye dropping and the clapping in this grin, this was very Pennywise, and I think he's manipulating something and using Doc to his advantage and his gifts, and it's not just Doc's power anymore, and he's going to open some floodgates that he doesn't even know that he can because it's Doc. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
I thought it was creepy. And hide your kids from Dick every single time. I didn't like it, and I was like, "What is this move?" It was like it was very interesting. Yeah, I was like, "What are we doing, Dick? What are we doing over here?" But I too, again, I think the military, Francis, it does want to use this in some way to weaponize this, feeding on fear. Now, how he thinks he's going to do that, I have no idea. But my question is for you, since you have this theory that I don't know, are you saying it's a partial possession? Because what I would need to understand then is then how is he later dispossessed of Pennywise? Why would Pennywise relinquish any control in Dick's head at any given point if he is somewhat controlling? I think this is Dick's other nature. I don't trust him. I've never liked him. I don't like him here. This felt so brutal to me, like the invasion of Daniel's mind was so scary to me. I was like, "Oh, you're a monster!" Like even when because did I need the spit in the face? I did not need that, Daniel. But just this is going to be very bad. This is going to be a very painful experience. And also, what I was kind of taken by in that moment was the fact that Daniel had a resistance. There was some sort of barrier or guard. You could tell. Yeah, it took Dick much longer than it would have with anyone else, in my opinion, to really crack through. But I assume we're going to talk about the doors in another slide or whatever. But I did think the portal element was interesting because is Dick who he is in this reality the same Dick as he is in another reality? I think there's a lot of questions that open there. With the doors and the portals and all of that. But Dick is a demon. Like I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all. Something about him and kids, I don't like the twain. I don't need them to meet. I feel like he uses kids or he siphons off their energy or does something. I don't like it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the military's ultimate plan and what Dick's part is going to be outside of this. Because you're gonna need him for more if you want to harness the energy of the entity.
There's something more here, Ash. I think there's something more here, even in the way that he can. Oh, thank you so much, Leroy. I ain't had a good meal since I came back down. Well, can you tell me about? Oh no, like his emotions are just so up and down. Getting here and doing this was all him. There was no convincing here because you basically did the same thing to Leroy and you stood there and watched and you were sent there to do a job. You're going to invade these minds. I didn't read too much into the doors. I just think whenever he channels to enter any kind of gateways or a portion of the mind, that's just how it shows up in an image way to him. and we just found out which door we need to go through. But the moment that we got here, it was just like a shift because he was sitting there, he was just fine before, and he was just happy to listen. And then after all of that, can you tell me where they are? Can you? This isn't Doc. I don't think this is Doc. I don't think Doc would intentionally try to hurt anybody's children. I just don't. I don't. Now all of the soft shoe, yes, a boss over there. That's Doc. This here, I don't think so. And as far as like getting the Pennywise off, he probably just left.
But
He
why would
probably
they leave? If you have a gift like that, why would you? Why? Why?
I think he probably just left. Because you see how intrigued Pennywise was in the encounters. Like, who are you? What are you doing in here? You're not supposed to be in here. And then we saw all those images begin to flash. I think some of this is going to be Doc, and some of it is going to be Pennywise. It's going to be up to us to kind of decipher what's what. And it's muddy because Doc, you shouldn't be doing anything like this either. But this is where we are. This is where we are. And we're gonna wind up back at that house. So you're gonna take some people to that house. Whose house was that? I need more information on the home. But getting into these origins and these white men from town, you had to get real thinner. White men from town always pulling up, not listening, ruining stuff. We know basically what we've already known, especially if you've seen It Chapter 2, that they were the first people here, and the it and the entity, the shooting star type situation. But just to see kind of the inception and the connection and all of these monsters are getting more and more goosebumps every day. It's getting more and more a haunted mansion every day. But I did like getting into the worst fears, and we have these zombified looking white tea settlers, and of course the indigenous existed in peace the entire time, recognized, realized the burial, and just hey, we're gonna put this barrier here, and we can only go beyond this point. And we of course try to warn them, and they don't listen, and the slaughtering commenced. Of course it grows, and then we get into these shards of off of the whatever the entity arrived in, and using those things to create that. And of course we know that we eventually go beyond that. But it was nice to go and get some questions answered if you had some. I didn't really have any. I didn't necessarily need this, but I was glad that we had it, and it was nice to have a visual. But it was cool. Actually, how did you feel about this?
Yeah, it was fine. I again, this is what I wanted to know. I really wanted to know about the barrier. I didn't expect the dragon glass. As Darfalina said in the collective last night, I wasn't expecting the dragon glass as being our barrier or whatever. But I thought this was interesting. I liked that a woman spearheaded this because the rest of the tribe wanted to run away. I really see the resilient spirit in a lot of the women in the It universe, so I liked seeing that. And I'm thinking Ronnie is going to be like our present day, and we have a Charlotte now. But no, I thought it was fine. I did think that the white man's organized religion was interesting. That was her biggest fear.
Yeah.
Coming through there, that was really interesting to see. But yeah, this was fine. It gave me what I was asking for last episode. I just wanted to see what happened, what they were doing, and where we're going from here. But I did think it was interesting that they were at the time wanting to leave. Like, we need to just pick up and go, because what we're not going to do is play with this demon. And also how they weren't able to conquer their fear to face him. I also thought it was interesting. We saw the introduction of the turtle shell with them putting
Yeah.
the dragon glass inside of the turtle shell.
Favorite dragon glass.
Dragon glass.
The most I pulled from this, I thought it was nice that even though, ma'am, who told you to go out there in the middle of the woods, got your mama following you, and now the only protection that we have is lying with you, and now I'm dead, girl. But aside from that, I thought it was interesting that even for the first like initial takedown, these are still basically children. So it's always been children. Every generation over, it's just, I guess it just took the right children, but it's always been in connection with children. Hmm. I thought that was nice, but other than that, I was like, ugh. I'm like, are we going to be trying to dig these up? Is this going to still be in connection to Francis? Like, how large is this going to grow? And is history going to repeat itself? Like, if I was the indigenous folk, I'm not letting anybody do anything. I'm just not like. That's what I'm saying. Like the waiting, I think they know enough to, yeah, we're gonna put a stop because you don't know what you're imposing on. You're about to unleash something that we've been holding down for years. We're just kind of letting it happen. That's why I'm like, Rosie, baby, what are you waiting for? What is Rose waiting on?
She can't tell them. At least she doesn't feel safe to tell them yet. I still think there are some tribal things that we don't understand that they haven't shown. When we saw them having their meeting about the military and them wanting to access to the land and all of that stuff, it still gave very much we're tight knit. There's certain things we're not going to discuss. There's certain things we're not going to share with the outside world. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I want to know. I'm really curious about Rose's present awareness of the entity being outside of the boundaries, or if they've known this for a while. I don't know. There's still so much that I don't understand from her perspective, that I need to know before I can say whether or not I think she should just run around telling anybody it.
Well, not so much run around, but plan. Even with so many of them in the town meeting, it was just like they think that they want to purchase land, or it's I think only a significant amount of them, or maybe the older ones, more connected to the lore that was passed down. All of the indigenous people weren't really aware. But I think Rose Hiccup is going to be entrusting Francis is who he says he is, because we know he isn't. He ain't got no problem taking your nephew.
Did you get that she trusted him?
If we don't, I don't know why we're not moving.
Oh, I didn't get that she trusted him at all.
I think she's going to be expecting the like that's what I said, this air of positivity, and just expecting people to, especially with Francis, because remember, back when we were friends a long time ago when we were 12. Yeah, that's not that. And Francis clearly got here and lied about what he was here for and what he was going to do. I don't know. I don't see any wheels moving or any preparation.
Well, she's not here for no reason. I think she's got the old magic. I think she knows the lore. I think Taniel is more of our freedom fighter now. And then I think what happens after, if he gets released and goes back and tells her what they did to him, maybe that lights a fire under her. But I don't know. If I'm them, do I need to throw my hat in this race? Like, we already fixed it once. Y'all the ones that came in and messed it up. He's not
Which is
messing with us.
cool. Get your raggedy duffel bag, because, like we said, the presence of most of these Black people and indigenous people, they aren't there present day. So, did you guys leave, or did you fall under the hammer like a lot of the other people? I
I
hope
don't
they
know.
left.
I can't see them running away from their land that they've had for thousands and thousands of years. Like I said, if they're not directly being impacted by Pennywise, why would she move?
I think they
Maybe they
would
got
be.
some more dragon glass somewhere else. Maybe they got their reservation encapsulated. I don't know, but it'll be
Because
interesting to.
this is just their, like, Pennywise moves, without ill, just throughout the entire Derry. So whatever would have just been their land, I think that gets taken over too. Like they had to have left, or they all died. Yeah, I don't want that. Got enough death going on here. But that is absolutely that. Getting into our good old predictions. Ashley, what do you have?
I think the OG Loser Club. I think they start rallying and figuring it out. Clearly, Marge tells the people she did it herself or something, because Marge isn't in the institution. We see her riding a bike down the street in the preview. So maybe they rally. Maybe they figure out. I think we progress more with Hank. We'll figure out if Charlotte has the clout she thinks she has, the weight to get everything done. I think we'll get Francis's full mission. I think we will get a better understanding of what his goal is with the entity, if he's trying to weaponize it. And I think we might get, I don't know, we're going to get an unaliving. Somebody's going to go next episode. I just don't know who it is. And now that we know that the boundary that, that whole forest was basically built on top of, the kids are going to the house. They're going to the house. I don't know if they're going to be looking for the dragon glass. I don't know what they're doing, but they're definitely going to the house.
I really wanted to see the house in like a greater state. It's still in those little raggedy crack house shambles. I was hoping when we got to see it in the past, it would be like, this is what the house looked like before. No, when Dot gets shown the house, it looks exactly like it always has. I think things are about to go downhill. I think anything that anybody tries is going to be absolutely unsuccessful. I think people are about to die because the temperament is changing in Derry. So much of when we got there was, well, this isn't like that. This is Derry. There isn't, an air of racism here, or superiority, or hell, any pure white air, anything. There isn't any of that. It's just people here living, and it's just so positive. And I think that that underbelly is just about to just come up to the surface. And anybody who just had an air, all of those people that were peeking around corners, and just that small little element of a lack of discernment and evil, I think it's just about to erupt, and things are going to get worse and out of hand. And Leroy's not going to be able to do anything. Hank not go. Nobody's going to be able to do anything but just kind of watch things happen. And I think the people who are going to suffer the most are these children, because they still are really trying to hold on to, we can change things if somebody just believes us, but we know deep down all of this just goes to hell. I think it's about to go to hell, and whatever anybody tries to do is going to fail, unfortunately. Maybe outside, I think the most, like, okay, that was something. Will and Charlotte might get to hell, might get on with where they going. I don't know, because they didn't give us, like, on the next episode. They gave us in the weeks to
Yeah,
come of
yeah.
Derry, so it was pretty general. But baby, get your raggedy duffel bag, Charlotte, and get that sun and go on your way. Leroy's probably gonna. I think I just want Leroy to descend. I want. It's a reason he's still there. Like, for you to stay, you have to be taken over. That's gonna happen. I think the kids gonna give it everything they got, and it just ain't gonna be enough. It's just not gonna be enough. I think the most that Doc might do is be able to save a few people out the black spot. Other than that, what is Doc gonna do? I don't see it. And maybe get away with his own life and his own power intact, and not allow Pennywise to manipulate his mind. Because what we do see in that trailer, if anything, it looks like Doc is losing it and he's paranoid. So I don't know. We'll just wait and see. But I think it's all gonna be bad. I think it's all gonna be bad. Like, not like it's gonna, maybe some glares of hope. But Pennywise came to destroy. But y'all, that was the episode. Hopefully you had a good time. Shut up, Dane. We're here every Monday. Ashley, anything you want to share before we get out of here?
No, thank you guys so much for coming through and supporting the live tonight. If you enjoyed yourself, be sure to like it, drop a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all those things. They help so much. And don't forget, tomorrow we are following up. I think we're starting season 2 of Breaking Bad. This is Tyra's first time watching, and so that's a fun live. But thank y'all.
Yes, it absolutely is. Please join us for that in the Discord tomorrow if you would like to. We look forward to that. And as always, we look forward to you guys supporting us in our future lives. Everybody have a good night, and we will see you next time. Good night, y'all.
White shirt, now red, my bloody nose sleeping. You're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows things.